Hey everyone! For 2020, I plan on taking on the One Game a Month challenge. This is a challenge where I have to develop one game every month and release it at the end of the month, whether or not it's finished. The time limit for the challenge is the whole month, and it doesn't necessarily have to take the entire month to complete. Most months, I'll be participating in a game jam to help me achieve that monthly goal. For those of you who don't know what game jams are, I'll break it down real quick for you. A game jam is where you have to create a game based on a theme that is assigned to you at the beginning of the jam. It's usually under specified limitations, usually a time constraint. But the only tweak I'm adding here is I'm using a game jam to get started, to push myself into coming up with an idea for a game, because developing under specific limitations and constraints is what allows me to be most creative. If I can't finish a game by the end of the game jam, that's okay. My personal time limit is the end of the month, so I can continue working on the game I came up with until the end of the month. Ideally though, I would have something almost complete by the end of the jam, or at least a fully functional prototype. For January, I'll be participating in the January Second Chances Game Jam. This game jam offers no particular theme, and the time limit is actually the entire month, which is ideal for me. I'm thinking this jam would be great to get me back into the game development groove, and it's a good way to ease myself into this challenge. The concept of this jam is to take a previously unfinished project or idea or prototype and complete it by the end of the month, which is really great for me because I do have a lot of unfinished games, and some require a lot less work than others, which is perfect for me to get back into it. This month's game will be Moving Day. It was originally created for the Global Game Jam 2019 last January, and it's a almost complete game that I'm hoping I can polish up and finish up by the end of this month. I'll explain the game to you real quick. The game is split up into two phases, and I only managed to complete one of them on time for that jam. The first phase is a 3D Tetris-like puzzle game where you have to cram as much stuff in your house as possible. The game is multiplayer with up to 4 players, and in the prototype I developed, you could play 2 players at a time in that phase. The second phase is to take the house that you've now packed with as many pieces of furniture as possible and move it to a new location. The players will be carrying their house, or maybe the house will be moving around somehow, maybe on wheels, and you use the furniture you've packed in your house as ammo on the neighborhood that is essentially the battlefield, as you attempt to collect all 4 pieces of a deed for the ideal new location that you'd like to move your house to. The first player who gets the entire deed gets to place their house down and wins the game. So what have I done on this game so far? As I said, I've completed the first phase, which is the puzzle phase. The multiplayer aspect is done, so camera handling, instances, controls, all that's done. Speaking of controls, I've completed the entire functionality of the controls, even for the second phase, and you can work with up to 4 different input sources, whether they be keyboards, PlayStation controllers, Xbox controllers, or any miscellaneous gamepad, they will work. The graphics are essentially all done, even for the second phase, thanks to the team I had back in Global Game Jam 2019. And the main menu, as well as the player count selection, is functional, but at the moment you can only select 2 players instead of up to 4. So what's left to do? The game was made very roughly since I only had 48 hours at the time, so I would like to rework a lot of the code so the game runs more smoothly and efficiently. I have to re-implement the first phase after doing that, complete development of the second phase, which includes AI for when there aren't 4 players on the battlefield, throwing and picking up items, and taking damage. I also have to add in a win state. I have to implement most of the UI, which isn't done at all, and finally, music, sound effects, and final polishing touches. I'm super excited to take on this challenge. I hope to have 12 small yet interesting games by the end of the year. And I'm looking forward to having you all come along for the ride as I implement the feedback you contribute after playtesting development builds. Now, if you're interested in following the progress of each game, you can do so by subscribing to my YouTube channel, where I'll be posting development logs at least twice per month. You can also join my Discord to chat about the development and contribute ideas. And finally, if you'd like to support this endeavor and the work I do in general, you can do so by becoming a patron on Patreon. Patrons get access to a bunch of bonus stuff, including access to development builds, some extra behind-the-scenes images and videos, and extras that relate to all the non-game dev stuff I do as well, including my art, comedy videos, podcast, and more. I hope to have the first development log video up on my YouTube channel soon, but until then, I hope to catch you all on my Discord. See you soon!